when it comes to cargo securement plan, you have to have a effective secure plan because a poorly loaded or unloaded vehicle could play a major role to an accident. And not properly loading the vehicle can cause excessive wear and decrease fuel efficiency as well. So before loading, review the shipping information so that way you can determine the type of load and weight the dimensions are for that load. Then you want to develop a strategic plan for weight distribution and securing your cargo. Because when you're securing the cargo, some things to take into account. You want to really keep in mind the weight and how you place the cargo by equally distributing the weight, by placing the weight where it should be in order to safely drive that commercial vehicle when you're carrying the cargo. And some things to keep in mind, the axle weight is the amount of gross weight that rests on any one axle. And the coupling device is used to help connect a trailer or semi-trailer to that truck or tractor. And that's commonly for combination vehicles, Class A vehicles. Now, it's your responsibility when you're distributing the weight of your cargo. It's your responsibility to make sure that your vehicle is loaded properly. And the thing to keep in mind about the vehicle loaded properly is to understand the center of gravity. And the center of gravity is the point where the length and width of a vehicle's weight is evenly distributed or balanced. Think in mind and think about the center of gravity. So if it's overloading, you want to avoid any overloading of your vehicle because overloading can affect the vehicle's steering and handling. It could increase braking, stopping distance. It could decrease the vehicle's turning ability, meaning you won't have the ability to turn effectively as you would need to safely. And then it could cause excess wear and tear on your vehicle if you're overloading your cargo. Now, also an overloaded vehicle moves slowly on upgrades when you're going up a steep hill or road, and it could gain excessive speeds if you're going down the hill on downgrades, whether it's a steep hill or steep road. Now, top heavy load, which is the height of a vehicle's center of gravity. Now, that is most important for safe handling because high center of gravity, which is heavy cargo on top, or that's piled too high, that makes it easier for the vehicle to actually tip over. And that is extremely dangerous when you're going to a curve, especially to try to avoid that hazard or when you're swerving. So that's why you have to keep in mind about top heavy loads. You want to always keep the center of gravity as low as possible when placing your cargo. And then you want to load your vehicle so the heaviest cargo is on the bottom and then the lightest cargo is on the top. And then you want to distribute the cargo as low as possible. So if you have a partial load, then you want to distribute evenly across your vehicle. That's why it's important to know the center of gravity, knowing not to overload your vehicle, and then keep in mind of making sure that it's not top heavy. The load is not top heavy. Then you have weight balance. So weight balance, if you have poor weight distribution, that can make the vehicle handling unsafe, meaning you won't be able to safely control the vehicle versus if you have a properly weight balance of it. So you want to distribute the weight as evenly as possible and do not place majority of the weight to one specific area, because otherwise it will be a teeter tot. The vehicle will lean to one side or the other. So that's why you want to make sure you know the allowable individual axle weights in order to avoid going over their limits. And then if you have sliding rear tandems, you want to place them in the rear position so that way you can get the most weight of that tractor or that truck drive axle. And then if you have any tandems in the forward position, then most weight will be put on that trailer. Now, too much weight on a steering axle can actually make the vehicle difficult to steer, and it can excessively damage the steering axles and tires. Then you have underload front axles, which is the cargo weight is too far or near in the rear. So if the cargo weight is too far to the rear, then it will make the weight of the steering axles too light to actually steer safely. And it could cause poor traction, and the drive wheels may spin easily because if you don't have traction, meaning good grip of the road with your tires, then that makes it extremely dangerous for you to turn the vehicle or not even able to drive the vehicle safely by having a good direction. So really keep in mind of the weight balance of it. Hey, BET Trainer here. Listen, if you really had true value out of this video, go ahead and click that like button and share some honest comments about this video, because this is going to help other people as well see the video and get the value information, so that way they can be inspired by what you're doing right now as well. So also, if you want to get the latest updates, go ahead and click the subscribe button, so then you can be able to always be updated on the next instant video that will be put out. So again, go ahead and do that. And this video was sponsored by BET Life Services and CDL for Life.